work on this owl eye, I'm going to select the layer in my layer panel, owl eye. And there are a couple of ways we could make this selection. I want to change, the goal for me at this moment is I want to change the color of the eye, of the iris of the eye, without changing any color of the feathers. And so, I could go about this a couple of ways. I could do a combo move where I get the ellipse, and maybe I'll drag the ellipse out, and kind of try to get it close. I'll use my arrow keys to scoot that over. Into place, trying to get right over the eye. And then I could add and subtract to this, right? So if it wasn't, maybe I didn't quite make it big enough, I could modify the selection to make it bigger. So to do that, I can go to Select, Modify, Expand. I'll just add 5 pixels. We'll see what that does. Okay, that was good. And then I could use my lasso tool or the magnetic lasso tool or even the polygonal lasso tool to take away right here where the feathers are. I don't want that to change color, so I could use my option key to get the minus, right? And I'm going to take away from that selection, just kind of freehand and keep it a little bit loose. So that's one way I could select this eye. And if I wanted to deselect the black in the circle, I could also get my ellipse. This might be a little trickier. And hold the minus and try to grab that ellipse, although I'm not very good at getting it in the right place. So I'm going to undo that. To change the color of the iris, though, wouldn't affect the black. So it would be okay to just have this selection. Another way I could select, and so let me undo that selection, is to work with this, and I wanted to just show you this tool anyway, the Quick Selection tool. The Quick Selection tool has these options up at the top toolbar to add and subtract, kind of like when we do Shift and Alt or Option. And you could sort of work back and forth with adding and subtracting until you get the selection that you want. So I'm gonna try to brush on and it's like automatically grabbing this whole eye for me, which that could be cool if I wanted to change all of that. But I'm gonna try to use the minus brush here to just get rid of a little bit of the things that I don't want to change around here. But then I lost this part of the eye, so I'm going to go back to the plus and try to add that back. And that's not bad. So this could work for me. I might again like grab my lasso tool and hold the option key and just get rid of a few of those feathers. But this is otherwise a pretty good selection for what I want to do with it. Okay, 2 ways to select the eye. And now we're going to make a change. I want to change the color of this. So with my selection on this eye and my layer, the owl eye layer is selected, so that when I make an adjustment layer, it's going to go right on top of this. So I'm going to go down into the layer panel, the adjustment layers here, and choose hue and saturation. And it will create an adjustment layer for hue and saturation, and it attaches a little mask thumbnail, which is the selection that I just made. So that shape, so it's only going to, so where the black is, that's masked out, right? Where the white is, that's going to show the change that I make. And so that's helpful. So I can come back to this layer and change the color of the eye very easily without affecting the rest of the image. So I'm going to just play with this hue slider, and I think I'm going to try to make it kind of greenish yellow, like this. That's cool. I could make it really bright if I wanted to, or up the saturation. I could lighten it, I could darken it. When I lighten it, I notice my selection up here is apparent, so I'm probably not going to do that. And I notice a little bit, I see like a little bit of red around the edge. I could have probably expanded my selection 5 pixels or so. I could also, and we'll talk about masks in a minute, but I could also affect this mask, after the fact. So if I wanted to click on the mask thumbnail, that's in my layer panel, so not the, this gives me my properties to affect the image adjustment, the hue and saturation, but if I click on the thumbnail, I can grab my brush and work with the black and the white to add or subtract to that mask. So remember, black is gonna conceal, white will reveal. So if I'm using the black, I could paint over right here, right on these feathers where I didn't want it to turn yellow at all. And then I could get the white and add over here to the side where it was turning a little bit red on the edges of that eye. And so this is being really finicky, right? Really perfectionist. But sometimes those illusions can be really convincing when you zoom in and do the detail work. So yeah, here we go. There's our eye.